It's happened yet again. In my comment section on the video I posted this Wednesday, I saw a lot of you are now worried about yet another change that has happened at the government level where you all are saying, oh my gosh, they're gonna seize our K-beauty sunscreens. I don't really want to make a video talking about this today. There's so many more fun things we could do, but I think we should take some time. I do want to make sure, as a big disclaimer here, that I let you all know this is not something I've had a lot of time to think about yet. I don't like doing that. I like really thinking a lot about what I say, but I just know from everything I'm seeing over on Reddit, on Asian beauty, and on skincare addiction, I know a lot of you are also worried, and we need to address it. So I'm waking up today to do a quick AM skincare routine today. You know, I traveled with my adapalene, and I did not travel with my benzoyl peroxide cleanser, and I just genuinely don't know why. Those are the two drugstore products, affordable skincare products, mind you, that work to help me prevent my acne. And why did I not take this? I give myself very good advice, but I don't always follow it. I've got to do an AM skincare routine today. I feel like I'm on limited time now, and that is just the way it has been. So I'm going to real quickly apply this, focus especially where I'm having these breakouts, let it sit for a bit, and then rinse. Again, we're kind of treating this less like a cleanser and a little more like a short contact therapy mask. But let's go ahead and talk about this. This was released from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection as of July 9th. All shipments of FDA-regulated products, regardless of quantity and value, are subject to the same regulatory requirements and may pose risks to health, safety, and security effective immediately. All FDA-regulated products must be submitted to the FDA for review. All prior communications exempting certain low-value FDA-regulated products are rescinded. Now, a lot of people are taking this to mean no more K-beauty and J-beauty sunscreens. I think the best place to start this conversation is to talk about things that are illegal versus things that are regulated in a business sense. And I know this is going to seem elementary to some of you, but I think it's an important distinction. So there are certain things that are just not permitted, okay? One thing that came up when I looked this up outside of the skincare Reddits was vapes. Apparently this is a big problem. Apparently Customs is having to seize a lot of vapes. The whole reason for these tariffs is supposedly drugs. So that's to say that there is this category of things that are not permitted under any circumstances. And then there are things wherein the way you sell those products has to be done in a very specific way. It's always funny to me when people don't realize that one of the biggest issues, one of the main things that brands get in trouble with the FDA for is not labeling product quantity clearly on your packaging. This right here is such a big deal to the FDA, and it's hilarious to me because you see people all the time looking at product packaging instead of actually taking the 2 seconds to look at the bottle or packaging and see how much you are actually getting in a product you buy. I just rinsed that off. We are done for now. I'll come back in a moment to add my Manyo, which is a good product to talk about as an example here. I ordered this Manyo Bifida Biome through Stylovana, so I got the Korean version, which does not clearly have the volume of this product printed on the front, because it's different in Korea's regulations. Does that mean this product is illegal in the United States? No. No. Can you imagine the police pulling you over and saying, ma'am, you cannot have a bottle of serum where the volume is not clearly printed on the front of the bottle? Because when we are talking about things like sunscreen, again, it is not illegal to have a Korean sunscreen. That would be absolutely absurd and a tremendous waste of everyone's time. I also have to admit that I feel a little perplexed by people forgetting that the Food and Drug Administration really regulates a lot, like food. I'm using these products from OneSkin. I did travel with these, and I don't know how I feel about them yet. They sent these to me in PR. I really wanted to give them a fair go, but I don't know yet. I'm just still kind of feeling like, you know, this Regelica essence. You got a lot to beat here in terms of a reparative, restorative product, but let me give this a fair go. So this is all to say, I think that what this is yet another of these kind of tremendous overreach statements wherein I just don't see a way for Customs and Border Patrol to really look at absolutely everything coming into this country, because you could pretty much seize any package at any time over something. But what's really a big deal here? People buying sunscreen for personal use, better sunscreen for personal use, or, things like counterfeits. Counterfeit products are actually one of the biggest things that Customs is looking out for. They really don't give a crap about our sunscreens. I have done that so many times. It's nice to know it still works, though. Good, durable packaging here. One would certainly hope, considering that price point, right? What I am trying to say here is I'm looking at this and kind of just taking a big step back as somebody who's made a lot of videos about what's going to happen with the tariffs, what's going to happen with TikTok, is it banned or not? I just kind of feel like this entire year we have been dealing with a will it or won't it happen? And might I remind everyone, this is what happens when a substantial amount of people vote for the person who has concepts of a plan. I begged people not to vote for him. I feel so flustered by how little of a difference my pleas made. You know what I mean? I live in Florida, so I guess I was just destined to be disappointed from the start. But I still had friends, ex-friends, who voted for him because, and I quote, "but he's funny." It's just so hard not to be just beyond flustered at this point. Are we laughing now that we're never going to get the Epstein list? Are we laughing over what happened to those poor kids in Texas? Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know I am, but it's just beyond frustrating. All of this nonsense, all of this could have been avoided if people just realized voting matters. I'm gonna slap on one of these Wonder Relief Centella spot patches from Purito. So I do want to close out this video with something really, really important. Oh, we're ending this routine with Purito ×2, I just realized, because I've still got to put on my sunscreen. What I think is that all of this nonsense, it's all too much. It really is concepts of a plan. It really is the truth, So how are you going to have an increase in checking customs when you're also defunding and doging everything? If you really care about people and you care about kids, then we should be making sure that we have access to the best sunscreens, not taking sunscreens. All right, I'm using my Purito Daily Soft Touch Sunscreen. This is absolutely, hands down, my favorite sunscreen for when my skin is in a little bit of a rough place. Just by far the best. When all of that tariff nonsense started, it was very much a question for a lot of us of, okay, well, how are you going to implement this? And sure enough, what happened is there are a handful of people that did pay tariffs. Some paid a lot in tariffs. But a lot more of us, self-included, did not pay tariffs at any point. Because again, it's all the concepts of a plan stuff. You had this country where we were big on importing. It helps small businesses, it helps people. And trying to change that overnight while also, doging the government oversight, nothing makes sense here. Nothing makes a bit of sense. Now, there's a very important reason why I'm making this video today, and that is a second part of this sunscreen conversation, and that is the Safe Sunscreen Act. If you do not want your sunscreens to be confiscated and you are ready to start getting these beautiful sunscreens in our Ultas and our Sephoras, now is the time to act. Now is the time to call. I'm going to have more information in the description box below. I encourage you to act on this before this goes before the House, Wednesday, July 16th. And again, a huge thank you to everybody who let me know about this so I can share it with you. Before I close out this video, I want to address a criticism that I've seen come up a few times regarding this kind of conversation where, people say, okay, nice, you want to have your nice sunscreens, but there's much more important things going on in the world. Please keep in mind that sunscreen is healthcare. Sunscreen absolutely helps prevent skin cancer. So no, this is not something to just skip over. This is very important. I wholeheartedly believe that there are other things that are going on in the world and we need to address those too. As I said in a recent video, voicing support for one cause does not mean that you don't support other causes. So I do hope you click on the link below, click on call your member, and make sure to call, get your voice heard. And my friends, that's it for today's video. I hope this is helpful. I know it's another one of these just kind of chit-chat videos where there's a bunch of stuff going on, but we're not powerless. If you, like me, are a citizen of the United States of America, it is time for us to make our voices heard. But that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a most wonderful weekend. I will see you all next time.